Hi, it's Fearless and welcome back to Zero Escape's second game, Victories Last Reward. At the end of the last episode, we were left with the ally or betray choice. Now, if we choose ally, Quark and Temyoji get over 9 and can leave, but they have promises that they wouldn't leave without us. If we choose betray, it puts us to 6. We can't get through the door, they can't get through the door, but maybe someone else can get through the door, and maybe they would be willing to leave everyone behind. So here we are, ally or betray. I believe I'm really testing the trust with this one, but I'm going to go with ally and hope for the best. Can we seriously trust them?
Round 3 of the Ambidex game has been completed. Results will be displayed in the warehouse. Thank you for your participation.
I'm really hoping they did choose ally, and I'm really hoping they don't leave. But, oh, this is a major slap in the face if they leave.
Ambidex gates now opening. Results from round 3 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention to the results screen.
Oh, I knew it. I knew they would, and it's such an awful thing for them to do.
I'd never choose betray.
Like, I can totally understand Fi's going to pick betray because it's against Dio. There's absolutely no way he's picking ally, I get it. I think Luna and Clover probably betrayed because Luna's on 1. And they obviously couldn't risk K picking betray. And they didn't really want him to get over 9 either, but obviously now Clover has got 11. Yeah, I am really heartbroken by Temyoji and Quark though. I think that was a really awful thing for them to do because they had no reason to pick it. Well, I'm hoping when I pick betray, they'll pick ally, but come on, why can't we be trusting each other again? Oh, seriously. If Sigma's heart wasn't broken in the last episode, mine really is now. Like, I'm going to kill that kid. I'm going to cry. This is really awful. I hate this.
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly.
Thing is, though, Temyoji said we're not going to leave, but him and Quark have both got 11. He's got his grandson. He can leave with his grandson. And the only person he trusts here is Clover, who also has 11. All 3 of them could leave, and they'd be overjoyed. Like, do they have a reason to stay? Because I don't think there's really any connections. Like, Clover probably wouldn't stay because Alice is dead. She doesn't have Alice to stay because Clover would stay to save Alice. But that's not, like, a thing now. That's not going to happen. So it wouldn't surprise me if all 3 of them just happily walked out the door. And here I am with a shattered heart.
Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
Not happy at all. I hate you. Yeah, you're right, Sigma. Slap him, kill him, stab him, don't care. I am not happy at all. Hey! The hell, guys? Why'd you betray me?
Quark had nothing to do with this.
Yeah, I knew it. You don't like me ever. Can't do anything right. He just never likes me. Yeah, but what if Quark actually did really want to press ally and then he goes and presses betray and now you've upset Quark? Like, if you really cared about him, you won't be upsetting him like that.
I made the vote.
Doesn't make me feel any better.
Grandpa.
Alright, fine. Why do you break your promise, Temyoji?
I only promised you one thing. We wouldn't open the number 9 door, even if we got 9 points.
But you did assure me that you'd be picking ally because you had, like, no reason to go pick betray, but then you go freaking do it! I still feel like he deserves a punch at this point. Wait a sec. Yeah, there's a loophole there. They promised they wouldn't open the number 9 door. But what if Clover opens it? They can leave, but they wouldn't have opened it and he wouldn't have broke the promise. So he can still leave. Oh! This is unfair. What? So, you're not going to leave?
Not what I said.
Exactly. You said you weren't going to open the door. You're so totally going to leave.
Of course we're going to leave.
Okay. I'm gonna cry. I really am gonna cry. This is awful. That's not fair. What the heck? What?
Look.
Can't. Tears are streaming my face. I can't see anything.
See Clover over there?
I know. She's gonna go and you're gonna go with her. And I hate all of you. I hate this game. How many times have I said that now? I hate this game. You are pissing me off, guys. What? Don't tell me.
Oh no.
Jeez.
That bitch!
Wait. Quark and Tenmyoji have...
The words were barely out of her mouth and Temyoji and Quark ran past.
No! God damn it!
Clover? Are you really going to leave? Well, yeah. Why else would I open the door?
But why?
I'm going to go call the others. So we can capture Zero Senior. Tenmyoji, are you and Quark going too?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Oh, I hate you. I tried so hard to get on with you and you just... I can't express how frustrated I am with him because this is... I know. Like, no. No. I hate these people.
Sorry, everybody.
So Sigma,
I told you try talking to me.
happy?
No!
Kept my promise.
No!
Clover opened the door, not me.
It just makes you a damn asshole. Like hell I'm happy. That's some shady shit, Temyoji. Ugh!
I have to get out of here, and that's that.
I can't. I can't deal with this.
For what he's done.
Uh,
Zero.
You mean you know who Zero Senior is?
Yeah. No point keeping it a secret now, I suppose.
well, as long as I get some information out of this, because I can't cope anymore.
I know exactly who Zero Senior is.
What?
The number 9 door has been opened. It will remain open for 9 seconds.
Let's go! Come on, guys!
I hate you people.
Time to move!
Right.
Oh, wait! This is for you, Mr. Sigma!
No, I'm not happy with you either. Just go. Go leave me. I don't want to be your granddaddy anymore. Go. Quack held something out. I looked down to see 2 pieces of folded paper. See him and his paper! What is this?
It's a letter. I wrote it in the director's office before the AB game.
So you had an idea that you were going to totally betray me. Great, thanks. Because I don't want to read it. I don't want to find out how sorry you are and how much you care. And just, no, you're going to leave me here to die.
I wanted to tell you what kind of guy Grandpa is.
I don't care what kind of guy he is. He's betraying me.
So...
I don't forgive him.
Read it, okay?
No, I don't forgive him. I can't forgive him. He pressed it into my hand.
See you later, Mr. Sigma.
Go away. Then he turned and ran towards the door, Temioji and Clover following his footsteps. Can you tell how annoyed I am? I was so surprised by the letter that I didn't even try to stop them. Please come back and save me. Before I could think of anything to say.
See you.
Oh, go die.
Goodbye.
No, you can do.
The number 9 door has closed.
I'm aware. Someone get me a scalpel because I need to get out of this crap quicker. This is, like, are they actually, because we've got Temioji and Quack and they'd be like, I know who Zero Senior is, and they're going to go off and deal with that. And Clover's like, well, I'm going to go get some people. Like, that's all very well, but are you going to come save us? And soon? Because I don't know what to do anymore.
This ends the nonary game.
I hate this game.
Thank you for your participation.
We didn't have a choice.
As the game is over, all doors other than the number 9 door have been unlocked. Escape is not possible. Please enjoy your stay.
I can't enjoy it. I wasn't going to anyway, but after what just happened, I can't enjoy it. Not happy in the slightest.
Shit!
Exactly.
They're gone.
All we can do now is hope they bring help back.
And cry and sleep. And hold me, someone.
Indeed.
I agree.
I looked down at Quack's letter and slowly unfolded it. I don't want to read it, though. I really don't want to read it. His handwriting was still slightly uneven, but he'd filled both pages with writing. I began to read. It was a really stormy day when he found me. He said the rain was coming down so hard it almost hurt, but somehow he managed to hear a baby crying. I guess I must have been crying pretty loud. He took me home and did his best to raise me, but he'd never been married or had a kid before, so I think it was really hard for him. He couldn't figure out how to mix the formula, so he was always carrying the directions around with him. Also, I guess I was a pretty picky eater, so if he didn't get to the water to formula ratio just right, I wouldn't eat it. I guess that was kind of a pain, huh? But he didn't give up, and now here I am. When he found me, I was really, really small, and he was worried that I might not make it. That's why he named me Quack. A quack is a really, really small thing, and I was really, really small too. Grandpa didn't need to worry though, because it turned out that I was pretty tough. When I was 1, he forgot I was sleeping in the bed of his truck and drove off. I rolled out and went off the back, but I didn't even get scratched. I started walking when I was 2, and when he wasn't looking I fell down the stairs. I didn't get hurt then either. When I was 3, I got really sick. I had a super high fever for a week, but eventually I got better. I guess you could say I'm pretty lucky. Anyway, I didn't really have any more accidents after that, and I was a pretty healthy kid. By the time I was 6, I'd started helping Grandpa out with his work. His job was to gather junk from abandoned buildings. Then he'd fix it up or pull out the useful parts and sell them. There were plenty of abandoned buildings, but finding good stuff in them was hard. You had to know which parts were useful, or you could end up wasting a bunch of time. Every time I'd find something, he'd explain to me what it was, how it was supposed to work, how to fix it, all sorts of things. Usually though, I just wanted to finish up work so I could go to the theatre. Theatre came to our town once a week in a wagon. They'd show old news or movies. I went every single week, but Grandpa only went once in a while, and he'd only go weeks when they showed movies. Oh, yeah, I didn't know that I'd been adopted until I was 7. One of the other kids on my block told me. I guess after Grandpa found me, he looked all over town to try and find somebody who'd take me. The kid from my block actually had a mum, and he'd asked her if she would take me too. I gotta admit, I was pretty shocked when I heard that. There weren't a lot of kids with parents around, so hearing that someone lived with his actual mum was pretty impressive. I was also kind of surprised that Grandpa had tried to get someone else to take me. Did that mean he didn't want me? The kid who told me about Grandpa trying to get rid of me was a real jerk. He was totally spoiled, and he'd brag to everybody about how he had a mum. He liked to come up to me while I was working and say stuff like, "Must be hard not having a mother." It had never bothered me before, but after I found out that Grandpa had adopted me, I started to think that maybe he didn't really want me. If I could work on my own, then he could get rid of me. I was scared to know the truth, so I never asked him. Then one day he took me to a bar in our neighbourhood. During the day, of course. He went there sometimes to drink scotch, but I'd never gone before. When we got in, he just walked up to the counter with that grumpy look he has, and I thought, oh no, he's going to make me work here. But I was wrong. I saw him pass something to the bartender, and then he picked me up and set me down on a stool next to the counter. The stool was pretty high, especially for a 7-year-old kid, and my legs just dangled off of it. It seemed really, really high to me, and I was pretty nervous. Eventually the bartender came back over with a glass of scotch and another big glass full of something else. As I looked closer, I realised that the second glass was full of some sort of brown liquid with a scoop of ice cream in it. It took me a minute to realise what it was. A root beer float. I'd never seen one before. I was so surprised. Root beer was even more expensive than the nicest alcohol in the bar. To me and the other kids, it seemed more like an urban legend than a real drink. But there it was, right in front of me. I stared at the float. I still wasn't sure it was real at that point, then turned to look at Grandpa. He looked back at me. I didn't know what to do, so I turned to the bartender. He'd already turned around and moved off though, so I figured he must have put the glass down in front of me on purpose. It didn't seem like it could be real. I was just staring at it when Grandpa told me to hurry up and drink it before the ice cream melted. His gruff voice sounded like an angel's. "Is this really mine?" I nodded. Words can't describe how awesome it was. I'd never tasted anything like root beer before. The creamy sweetness of the ice cream made my entire head feel light. I felt like the luckiest boy in the whole world. That's not an exaggeration, I really thought that. The root beer float was delicious, but what made me even happier was Grandpa. When I looked over at him, he was smiling. I know that's got to be hard for you to imagine, but he really was. Right then I didn't care whether he'd just found me and adopted me or not. He'd bought me a root beer float. That made me way luckier than some kid who had a mother, but had never tasted root beer. Of course, after we left the bar, he was the first kid I bragged to. So Grandpa and I were doing pretty good. until the fight. I was in a super bad mood that day. I'd torn one of my shoes that morning and some old junk guy had yelled at me. All the junk I found was totally useless. The day was almost over and I was fed up, so I just grabbed some random trash and took it back to the house. When I showed what I'd found to Grandpa, he frowned. He started going through each thing I'd brought back, explaining why they were all useless. I got really mad and just yelled, "I don't care!" Then he got mad, and I couldn't take it anymore, so I ran away. I was pretty upset, and I started thinking that maybe Grandpa had only adopted me so he could raise me to work and make money for him. After a while, I went and hid in an abandoned building, but by then I'd started to calm down and think that maybe I should go back and apologise. It started raining pretty hard though, so I decided I should wait for it to stop. But that was just an excuse. The truth was that I was nervous. Part of me knew I'd done something wrong, but I didn't want to admit it. The rain didn't stop though, so I just sat there staring out at the gloomy grey sky. I imagined Grandpa coming to get me. It kept raining all night and he never showed up. I gave up waiting and decided it was time to go home. I was about halfway there when I heard somebody groaning. First I thought I should just ignore it and not get involved, but I went over anyway and it was Grandpa. He was totally soaked and I could tell right away that he'd been there for a really long time. I yelled and he opened his eyes a little bit. He smiled weakly and said he was glad I was safe. He spent all night out in the rain looking for me. How awful. Grandpa had been out in the rain looking for me so long that he'd collapsed. It was horrible. He'd heard me crying in the rain, but I hadn't heard him. As I ran to get the doctor, I promised whatever God might be listening that if they would only save Grandpa, I'd never ask for another root beer float ever again. He'd got a real bad fever and his temperature wouldn't go down for days. The doctor said that if it kept up, he'd die. If he died, then I'd be all alone. There wouldn't be anybody left to care about me. The thought of that happening terrified me. Fortunately, I must have passed some of my luck on to Grandpa, because a week later his fever finally broke. I was glad he wasn't going to die, but I was also a little scared. What if he had decided he didn't want a stupid kid like me around anymore? My plan was to apologise as soon as he woke up, but when the moment came, my brain just stopped. Grandpa started to talk and it took me a minute to realise he was apologising. I didn't know what to think. He explained that he was an old man, and that meant he was probably going to die sooner rather than later. It was strict with me because he wanted to make sure I'd be able to make it on my own after he was gone, but maybe he'd been a little too strict. All of the things I'd worried about had been stupid and selfish. Grandpa cared about me a whole lot. He'd been worried when I ran off, and he'd gone out into the rain to look for me. I tried to apologise, but when I opened my mouth, I just started crying. I don't think I've cried that much since I was a baby. But he just smiled and patted my head. I asked him if he'd ever regretted adopting me. His eyes got all wide and he said, "Of course not." He told me that he was looking for a really important lady, and because of that he'd had to give up on pretty much everything else in his life. But when he took me in and started raising me, he felt like he'd got some of what he lost back. That was when I decided I'd stay with him forever. Even if he said I couldn't. Okay, so Tenmyoji end. Well, you know, the story with him and Quark, it's all very well. But it doesn't make me feel any better about it. I feel so betrayed right now. I'm not happy with him in the slightest. And I'm really not happy. Like, I'm really not happy. And I don't know how I'm meant to get over it, really. Like, you want to go pick the cyan and magenta dolls, I'm going to be there the whole time. So frustrated. But, you know, I think I'm going to cut this episode off shorter than I normally would, because I really need some recovery time after that. So we're going to then go down this other end, and then we will come down this way. And then we can decide on either side of the magenta door. But, yeah. This is like at least 10 minutes less than I normally do. But I need recovery time. I can't just go into the next one and be totally fine with it, because I'm going to hate him the whole time. And if I go pick Betray and he goes and picks Betray, I'm still going to be annoyed. Like, the only way we really win here is if he then goes and picks Ally, and it's like, screw you for just betraying me then. But I don't know what's going to happen. But I'll try to be calm. I'm hoping we'll have a little less Tenmyoji in the other routes. I don't know if we'll pair with him or need him for anything to get through any doors. Considering who I believe he is, we're probably going to have more of him. But I'm hoping not, like I said, either as a pair or against him in any way. I think I can't cope with Tenmyoji anymore. I'm going to have to find someone else to ship Sigma with, because, yeah, that relationship really didn't work. Yeah. It's difficult to deal with. I am pretty heartbroken. Maybe I just got too into it. Maybe I just got too into their relationship, and I did this to myself. Put simply. But yeah. So the next episode we will go down the betrayal ending.
I'd never choose betrayal.
And well, considering it will be like a game over again,
I'd never choose betrayal.
I expect death. I'm hoping for Tenmyoji's death, to be fair.
I'd never choose betrayal.
But we'll find out then. So thank you for watching.
I'd never choose betrayal.
I want to say I hope you've enjoyed it, but you know, I'm hoping you've enjoyed me. If you've enjoyed the game in this episode,
I'd never choose betrayal.
I don't think we can be friends, because why would anyone be happy with that? We just got slapped hard.
I'd never choose betrayal.
But yeah, if you've enjoyed me, that's great. Either way, I will see you next time. Bye.
I'd never choose betrayal.